Modern Warfare 2 dropped just a couple days ago, and there seems like there's a lot of mixed opinions on the game itself. And I'll be honest, I personally am enjoying it. I've been grinding it since it dropped, and I've been doing stuff that I've never done in any other COD. I'm currently trying to get all the camos, which I'm surprised that it's got me as hooked as it does, but I've been playing a ton of pubs. I've been playing, wagers and 8s with all the old heads, and it's been fun. I think the core gameplay itself has a lot of potential. I love the gunfights. I love how the game looks, but I see where there's a lot of mixed opinions on the game, right? Now, something that they did going into the actual game from the beta was they removed the bunny hopping. They also nerfed / removed the slide canceling. Now, slide canceling has been a big thing in the past couple of Call of Duties. I think them nerfing the slide cancel was good. I think that that's been one of the corniest / cheesiest movement mechanics that you could abuse in Call of Duty ever. I know that that's been kind of the staple the past couple of years, but I think that that was a good move that they removed it. Now the bunny hop though, I don't agree with it there. I feel like you need to have some sort of movement mechanic to not make it to where it's a very slow, sluggish feel when it comes to movement in Call of Duty. And that's kind of what they have here in Modern Warfare 2. Now, what I mean by that is you obviously can sprint still, you can tactical sprint, you can dolphin dive, you can slide, but it's, there's no point really because it feels like you're stuck in mud, you can't shoot. And you can, I don't even want to say you can bunny hop because you could jump and then do like another mini jump, but it's not actually a bunny hop that, you guys would be used to in the past CODs. So a lot of people don't like that. That's the biggest issue and the biggest thing that I see when it comes to the mixed opinions. And there's pros and cons to both sides of that. Obviously not having that advanced movement that, you can abuse, it really comes down to your positioning. And when we're talking about competitive COD, right, in the CDL, which is what I'm going to get into next, you're talking about the positioning of an individual player, you're talking about the positioning and the teamwork of a team. And it's really more on the mental aspect of how you are playing these games instead of being able to slide cancel and abuse movement mechanics to get away or to initiate engagements, right? Where you can make a bad play strategically, logically, but get away with it. Now, it's hard because there needs to be some sort of in between, right? That's why I wish they would have kept the bunny hop or the bee hop, whatever you want to call it in, because I think that has potential to where it isn't game breaking, right? It isn't super cheesy, but it does add some fluidity to your movement and you just don't feel like it's super slow paced. Now, the time to kill is another big thing. I'm pretty sure from what I read, this is the fastest COD in a while. This is even faster than Vanguard's time to kill. I don't like that. The biggest thing is you want to have an actual gunfight, right? You want to have some back and forth. You don't want it to be where, obviously if it's working out for you, yeah, it feels great, but you don't want an enemy or yourself to go down instantly. You don't want to die instantly, right? You want to have some back and forth. You want to add that into the game, okay? You want to have that be a part of competitive COD, and not only just competitive COD, Call of Duty in general, right? You don't want to be playing team hardcore where everyone's dead in a bullet. That's boring. And I think that might be an issue for people watching the CDL this year, just because it might be really hard to actually understand what's going on because the players are dying as fast as they are. But the biggest thing for me is the maps. The game has a couple good maps right now. Not the best. There's obviously a lot of bad ones that I've played, but it has a couple solid maps in the rotation that would be crucial for the CDL. The issue is they can't play those maps, at least for the time being. The F1 map, I think it's like the Grand Prix, Hotel. Now, these might not be the actual map names, I'll be honest with you, but I'm just explaining what they are. The Hotel map, and then also the Museum map, which I don't know how I feel about it, but the Hotel and F1 specifically, those maps can't be played because they, like the Grand Prix one and the Hotel one, it's a replica of a real life place. I don't know where the hotel is. It's some hotel overseas or whatnot, and you can't play them, or Activision said that they can't use them in promotional activities, which the Call of Duty League falls under, Not sure how that works. But with that being said, that puts the CDL in a very bad spot because the rest of the maps are not good. Especially when we're talking about maps that you can use for multiple modes, right? For hardpoint, for S&D, for control. That's worrisome because if they don't have a DLC, I don't know when they're gonna have a DLC, when they're gonna add more maps, but if they don't do anything fast, I'm worried that the maps are gonna be really bad. Like some of the worst maps that we've had in competitive COD history. That would basically kill the game early on because if the fans aren't interested, the fans don't find it exciting to watch. And on top of that, the players don't like playing because they're playing on maps that are just not good competitive maps. It is a recipe for failure, in my opinion. And the league starts rather quickly, okay? It's gonna be starting up way earlier than it has in past years. So they really have to figure out if they can use the Grand Prix map, if they can use Hotel. And then on top of that, actually fixing, you know, the more specific things like the hardpoint hills, the S&D bombs, the control caps, whatever the case may be. But you need to have good maps, okay? You need to have a good looking game, which I think Modern Warfare 2 is. I think it's a great game, you know, to look at. It's way better than the past Call of Duties, especially way better than Vanguard. So I think the casual fans, the casual players are gonna love that aspect. When it comes to pubs, this is always interesting, and I kind of want to get your guys' opinion because I've never really been a pub player myself, but I've been having a blast. Trying to get all the camos in the game. It's been fun. I've been grinding. I've been hooked, okay? Some say Modern Warfare 2 has got me by the balls right now. But for the people that have played pubs, you know, or played a lot of COD pubs in their time, like, would you say this is one of the more fun CODs or not really? Now, obviously, the game has its issues, okay? The maps being a big thing, the movement, which I know some people love, some people hate, but it has potential. That's the biggest thing for me, is it has potential at the end of the day. Now, I know that Modern Warfare 2 sold the most it's ever sold in like the opening week. So that's kind of insane to me, to be honest, but so there's a lot going for it. And you're gonna have Warzone 2 dropping soon. Who knows how that's gonna play out with the movement, right? Because we're gonna have the same movement that we do in multiplayer in Warzone 2. So there's not gonna be any slide canceling. There's not gonna be any bunny hops. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I don't mind the fact that there's no slide canceling or no real advanced movement in multiplayer. In Warzone, it needs to be there, I feel like. And I don't know how that they could do that, but I feel like when you play a battle royale, and it's as slow as multiplayer can be, right? Very L trigger, ADS heavy. You're not kind of playing off the hip as much. Warzone can get very stale very fast. So that's the biggest thing that I'm worried about when it comes to Warzone. But dude, I'm just praying at this point. I'm praying that we get a good COD because I'm worried. I'm worried that if this is not a good competitive COD, the CDL could be in a very rough spot. We have to play this game. Well, not we, thank the Lord, because I'm retired, but the CDL players have to play this game for 2 years. So if this game comes out and it doesn't really get the viewership, not a lot of people like playing it, not a lot of people like watching it, I'm worried for what can happen in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.